I'd like to go ahead and call the meeting to order for December 11th, 2023. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Richard Bardak.
Here.
Adam Frankel.
Here.
Ben Hunt.
Here.
Keely Paul.
Here.
Bob Rosen.
Here.
Jay Schatz.
Here.
Darrell Wood.
Here.
Scott Larmer.
Here.
Andrew Kakey.
Here.
Chief Wallace.
Here.
Rick Kay.
First up, I'd like to go ahead and welcome everyone to join us this evening. We'd like to first begin by rising for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so our first order of business this evening is to call for nominations for mayor.
Vice Mayor, I would, with great pleasure and honor, place Bob Rosen's name for nomination of Mayor of Amberley.
Been moved. Anyone second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Are there any further nominations? Seeing that there are none, I'd like to ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Richard Bardak. Yes. Adam Frankel.
Yes.
Ben Hunt.
Yes.
Keely Paul.
Yes.
Bob Rosen.
Yes.
Jay Schatz.
Yes.
Darrell Wood.
Yes.
All right. I'd like to call Law Director Andy Kakey to administer the oath of office.
Thank you.
Raise your hand for me and repeat after me. I, Bob Rosen,
I,
as
Bob-
Mayor of Amberley Village, Ohio,
I, Bob Rosen, as Mayor of Amberley Village, Ohio,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I shall follow
that I shall follow
and uphold the Constitution
and uphold the Constitution
and the laws of the United States of America,
and the laws of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of Amberley Village,
of
Ohio,
Amberley Village, Ohio,
and shall faithfully perform my duties
and shall faithfully perform my duties
as prescribed by the Charter
as prescribed by the Charter
and ordinances of Amberley Village
and ordinances of Amberley Village
and the laws of the State of Ohio.
and the laws of the State of Ohio.
Congratulations, Mayor.
Thank you.
And I'll go ahead and turn the meeting over to the mayor.
First of all, I would like to thank council for the honor and privilege of serving you as mayor, and I will assure you that I will do the best that I can in order to uphold the duties of the office. Scott originally told me that I had 25 minutes for a speech to give at this time. However, in the interests of our long agenda tonight, I will have a few remarks during the mayor's report later in the meeting, and we can start the meeting and conduct our business. The first order, the next item on the agenda is to entertain nominations for vice mayor. Do we have any nominations?
Mayor,
Yes.
I would like to nominate Ben Hunt for Vice Mayor.
We have a nomination for Ben Hunt for vice mayor. Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to have Ben Hunt take to the position of vice mayor. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, I would like to have the clerk call the order.
Richard Bardak. Yes. Adam Frankel.
Yes.
Ben Hunt.
Yes.
Keely Paul.
Yes.
Bob Rosen.
Yes.
Jay Schatz.
Yes.
Darrell Wood.
Yes.
I'd like to call on our law director, Andy Kakey, to administer the oath of office to Vice Mayor Ben Hunt.
Congratulations, Vice Mayor. If you'll repeat after me. I, Ben Hunt,
I, Ben Hunt,
as Vice Mayor of Amberley Village, Ohio,
as Vice Mayor of Amberley Village, Ohio,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I shall follow
that I shall follow
and uphold the Constitution
and uphold the Constitution
and the laws of the state of the United States of America,
and uphold the laws of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Ohio,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of Amberley Village, Ohio,
of Amberley Village, Ohio,
and shall faithfully perform my duties
and shall faithfully perform my duties
as prescribed by the Charter
as prescribed by the Charter
and ordinances of Amberley Village
and ordinances of Amberley Village
and the laws of the state of Ohio.
and the laws of the State of Ohio.
Congratulations, Vice Mayor.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to call on our law director, Andy Kakey, to administer the oath of office to Councilman Jim Schatz.
Raise your hand for me. I, Jay Schatz,
I, Jay Schatz,
as a member of the Council of Amberley Village, Ohio,
as a member of the Council of Amberley Village, Ohio,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I shall follow
that I shall follow
and uphold the Constitution
and uphold the Constitution
and the laws of the United States of America,
and the laws of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Ohio,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of Amberley Village, Ohio,
of Amberley Village, Ohio,
and shall faithfully perform my duties
and shall faithfully perform my duties
as prescribed by the Charter
as prescribed by the Charter
and ordinances of Amberley Village
and ordinances of Amberley Village
and the laws of the state of Ohio.
and the laws of the State of Ohio.
Congratulations, Councilman.
The next order of business on the agenda is to appoint our new treasurer. Rick Kay is retiring tonight as treasurer. He has asked that we not recognize him, and of course, we're not going to abide by that. So, for those of you who don't know, Rick has faithfully served the village for 15 years as a treasurer. Presently, Rick holds the position of tax manager at Malott and Malott, and he boasts an impressive record in his CPA career spanning nearly 4 decades. Rick was recognized by the Village Council in August for 15 years of service as treasurer, and Rick's unparalleled commitment to his responsibilities is truly remarkable. Virtually as a volunteer, he dedicates his weekends diligently reviewing all our banking activities, signing checks, and ensuring that the village's financial integrity and transparency. His meticulous attention to detail and unwavering dedication have proven invaluable over the past 15 years. Even though we recognized you, Rick, for your 15 years in August, we've ordered a brick with your name on it that will be placed in the courtyard, and I have a replica of that brick, which I'm going to present to you now.
Thank you. Isn't that funny? That's so sweet. Thank you. It's a brick.
Okay. Moving right along, I would like to introduce to Council Ordinance 2023-9. This ordinance will appoint Claire Eichner as the village treasurer. I could say that Claire has met with the Finance Committee, and she has an impressive background. She comes highly recommended by Rick Kay, and we're excited, Claire, to have you join us. So the first thing we have to do is I need a motion to waive the 3 readings of Ordinance 2023-9.
I'll make a motion to waive the three readings of ordinance 2023-9.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we have a motion to waive three readings of ordinance 2023-9, appointing Claire Eichner as the village treasurer. Are there any questions or comments? If not, please call the roll.
Richard Bardak.
Yes.
Adam Frankel.
Yes.
Ben Hunt.
Yes.
Keely Paul.
Yes.
Bob Rosen.
Yes.
Jay Schatz.
Yes.
Dara Wood.
Yes.
I now need a motion to approve ordinance 2023-9, appointing Claire Eichner as village treasurer.
Oh.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance 2023-9, appointing Claire Eichner as the village treasurer. Are there any questions or comments? If not, please call the roll.
Richard Bardak.
Yes.
Adam Frankel.
Yes.
Ben Hunt.
Yes.
Keely Paul.
Yes.
Bob Rosen.
Yes.
Jay Schatz.
Yes.
Dara Wood.
Yes.
And finally, the third step in this process, I need a motion to approve ordinance 2023-9 as an emergency measure.
So moved.
Second.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance 2023-9, appointing Claire Eichner as the village treasurer. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, please call the roll, please.
Richard Bardak.
Yes.
Adam Frankel.
Yes.
Ben Hunt.
Yes.
Keely Paul.
Yes.
Bob Rosen.
Yes.
Jay Schatz.
Yes.
Dara Wood.
Yes.
It's official then. Claire, we're excited to have you join us, and if you would, you can take your seat up here amongst the distinguished panel up here.
Do we need a check to pay for the brick?
It came out of petty cash. So I just want to recognize Claire Eichner has accepted the position of village treasurer, and I want to thank her for her service. Next order of business this evening is to appoint Andy Kakey as our village solicitor. We're going to have to go through the same process we just went through. This is ordinance 2023-10, which is appointing Andy Kakey as the village solicitor. Andy has been our Lord Director or solicitor for the past 3 years. He serves as a legal advisor to the village and for all its offices and departments in matters relating to their official duties. The solicitor attends our meetings of council, the Planning Commission, Board of Zoning Appeals, and of various committees as requested. The solicitor represents the village as our attorney in civil matters, issues legal opinions, reviews requests for public records, drafts proposed legislation for council's consideration, and prepares or reviews all contracts, bonds, and other written legal instruments concerning the village. In case you didn't know what he did. Now we know. So the first thing is I need a motion to approve ordinance 2023-10, appointing Andrew Kakey as the village solicitor as an emergency measure.
If I could make a preliminary, I need to recuse myself. Stacy, this ordinance also appoints Stacy Lefton as a night court prosecutor. Stacy's my wife, and so that for that reason I need to recuse myself. And for the record, she was the prosecutor well before we became married. So for that reason, I'm recusing myself from voting on this particular issue.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to appoint Andy for another term.
Yeah, emergency.
Second.
Oh, waive, I'm sorry. Waive the the emergency.
And I-
As an emergency measure.
Sorry.
Oh, waive the 3 readings first. Thank you.
And I second the waiving.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to waive the 3 readings of the ordinance 2023-10, appointing Andrew Kakey as the village solicitor or law director. Are there any questions or comments? You finished?
I'm finished. For the record, I'll recuse myself for the reasons stated previously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, could you please call the roll?
Rich Bardak has recused himself. Adam Frankel.
Yes.
Ben Hunt.
Yes.
Keely Paul.
Yes.
Bob Rosen.
Yes.
Jay Schatz.
Yes.
Dara Wood.
Yes.
I now need a motion from council to approve ordinance 2023-10, appointing Andrew Kakey as the village law director.
I would like to move that we adopt ordinance 2310 to reappoint Andy Kakey.
Second.
It's moved and seconded to approve ordinance 2023-10, approving Andy Kakey as our village law director. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, could you please call the roll?
Adam Frankel.
Yes.
Ben Hunt.
Yes.
Keely Paul.
Yes.
Bob Rosen.
Yes.
Jay Schatz.
Yes.
Dara Wood.
Yes.
And finally, I need a motion from council to approve ordinance 2023-10 as an emergency measure.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance 2023-10, appointing Andrew Kakey as our village law director. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Adam Frankel.
Yes.
Ben Hunt.
Yes.
Keely Paul.
Yes.
Bob Rosen.
Yes.
Jay Schatz.
Yes.
Dara Wood.
Yes.
Congratulations, Andy, and thank you for your... And we thank you for your 3 years of service so far, and we're looking forward to many more. Okay. Everyone in council should have in front of them a piece of paper that says Amberley Village. What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. Another ordinance, ordinance 2023-11, appointing Tammany Reesner as clerk of council. I need a motion to approve ordinance 2023-11 as,
Waive.
waive the 3 readings.
I motion to waive the 3 readings.
Second.
It's moved and seconded to waive the 3 readings of ordinance 2023-11, appointing Tammy Reesner as our clerk of council. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Richard Bardak. Yes. Adam Frankel.
Yes.
Ben Hunt.
Yes.
Keely Paul.
Yes.
Bob Rosen.
Yes.
Jay Schatz.
Yes.
Dara Wood.
Yes.
I now need a motion to approve ordinance 2023-11, appointing Tammy Reesner as the clerk of council.
So moved.
Seconded.
It's moved and seconded to approve ordinance 2023-11, appointing Tammy Reesner as the clerk of council. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Richard Bardak.
Yes.
Adam Frankel.
Yes.
Ben Hunt.
Yes.
Keely Paul.
Yes.
Bob Rosen.
Yes.
Jay Schatz.
Yes.
Dara Wood.
Yes.
And finally, I need a motion to approve ordinance 2023-11 as an emergency measure, appointing Tammy Reesner as the clerk of council. The reason for this emergency provision is the necessity of providing for the village the services of the clerk of council.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance 2023-11 as an emergency measure, appointing Tammy Reesner as the clerk of council. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Richard Bardak.
Yes.
Adam Frankel.
Yes.
Ben Hunt.
Yes.
Keely Paul.
Yes.
Bob Rosen.
Yes.
Jay Schatz.
Yes.
Dara Wood.
Yes.
Congratulations, Tammy. And thank you for your 4 years of service. And again, we look forward to many more. a lot of work. Next item on the agenda is every council member has in front of them Amberley Village Council committee members and assignments for the term 2023-25. I would point out to council that we have a new council member, Adam Frankel, who we had to include and assign committees to. Some committee assignments stayed the same. Some of them have changed. I believe I contacted every member of council to see what their preferences were, and to the extent that I could, I took those into account in making these assignments. I need a motion at this point to approve the committee assignments for the 2023 to 2025 term. So moved. Anybody second?
Second.
There's a motion to approve. There's a motion has been made and seconded to approve the council committee assignments for the 2023 to 2025 term. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Richard Bardak. Yes. Adam Frankel.
Yes.
Ben Hunt.
Yes.
Keely Paul.
Yes.
Bob Rosen.
Yes.
Jay Schatz.
Yes.
Dara Wood.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item of business on the agenda is to approve the minutes from the regular council meeting of November 13th, which I believe were distributed. Are there any changes, questions, or comments on those minutes as they've been distributed?
No.
Hearing no corrections, we will assume that the minutes are approved as they were sent out. Now I'd like to call on Scott Larmer, our village manager, to present the finance report for the month of October.
Thank you, Mayor. Included in your packet, in addition to the UAN report, is a finance report summary for the month of October 2023. In regards to the earnings tax, the village collected $361,000 in the month of October. That brings our year-to-date total to $3.5 million. That represents about 95% of what we had estimated to collect in 2023. On general revenues for the village, last month we collected almost $600,000, of which $361,000 was in the from earnings tax. But that brings our year-to-date estimate to $5.9 million. So we've collected 97% of what we had estimated to collect. We'd estimated to collect about a little over $6 million. On the expense side, the expenses for the month of October totaled $614,000, and that brings us to a year-to-date expenditure of $5.7 million. We've spent 82% of the budget, but November and December are going to be very high months. So that leaves us with an unencumbered general fund balance at this point of just a little over $6 million. And that concludes the finance report.
Thank you, Scott. Are there any questions or comments for Scott on the finance report for the month of October? Hearing no questions, we will file that report as it's been received. Thank you. Now I'd like to invite Ray Warren to the podium, who has requested this time to address the council this evening. Since this portion of the meeting is a time for the public to be heard by council as a body, council members generally will not engage in a dialogue or debate with individuals who speak. And we thank you, Ray, for your comments this evening.
Hi, my name is Ray Warren. I live at 6715 West Farm Acres Drive. First, I'd like to congratulate Bob Rosen on his appointment as mayor of Amberley Village, Ohio. I'd also like to take this moment, since I was out of the country, to thank my colleague Tom Euthing for his 12 years of service, 10 of which I served with him on council, 8 of which he was mayor of Amberley Village Council, and I certainly wish him the best of luck in the future. As some of you know, I recently returned from Israel after having spent a month volunteering on a medical resupply army base, preparing a variety of medical surgical kits for the wounded in the current war between Hamas and Israel. That was started after the barbaric attack of Hamas on October 7th. Prior to leaving for Israel on October 19th, I made a request to council that it consider passing a special resolution supporting the vulnerable Jewish population of here in Amberley Village and supporting Israel to create a better Middle East free of terrorism. Not only did you create such a resolution, but for the sense of urgency, you scheduled a special council meeting on October 23rd to discuss and eventually and unanimously pass this resolution. I'd like to personally and publicly thank council for taking this action. On a personal note, I'd like to thank former Mayor Tom Euthing, Vice Mayor Ben Hunt, councilpersons Dara Wood and Keely Paul for replying to my request and sharing your sentiments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Warren, for your comments. We'll now go to the Police and Fire Committee. Vice Mayor Hunt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Police and Fire Committee met last week to discuss a few topics. The main topic that we bring before council tonight is regarding the Hamilton County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan. This plan is kind of an ordinary piece of policy in the background just to ensure that Amberley Village is in compliance with the county, with the state, and then with the federal emergency management associations. So this piece of this resolution that we will be considering this evening is meant to make sure that Amberley Village, in the case of an emergency, would have full access and full support from each of those respective government bodies. So tonight, I'd like to move that council pass Resolution 2023-24, adopting the 2023 Hamilton County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt and approve Resolution 2023-24, adopting the 2023 Hamilton County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing no questions or comments, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the resolution passes, and please note that the resolution passed by a unanimous vote.
And that concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Hunt. We now go to the Streets Committee. And I have to call on myself since I'm the chairman of the Streets Committee. The Streets Committee met on November 14th. And I have to say, it was probably the longest meeting we've had at least in my tenure. There were several items on the agenda, and I will go over them and inform council of what we discussed. The first item was a report from CT Consultants outlining the estimate for the streets program for 2023. This streets program was adopted by council, I believe, in 2020, Accelerated Streets Program. Yeah. And this year, the program will be providing some work on the following in Roman Estates Drive, Glen Farm Court, Beach Hollow Drive, Clearwood Court, Amber Creek Drive, Rolling Ridge Court, and Ridgeway Close. The total estimated cost of this program is $855,280 for construction, and in addition, there will be an estimated $78,275 worth of stormwater work. The project will be put out for bid in the February-March timeframe, and hopefully we will get bids that are close to what our estimates are. The second item on our agenda for the Streets Committee was a request from CT Consultants, which is the engineering firm that the village uses for all our projects. CT Consultants submitted a request that the amount of compensation that we provide for them for the year 2024 be increased from what we provided in 2023. There was quite a discussion in our committee since actually CT Consultants, this has kind of become an annual affair that they asked for an increase. The past 2 years they've requested increases that have been slightly larger than what they have in the previous 3 or 4 years. I should add that we are very pleased and happy with the service that CT Consultants provides. They have a long history with the village, and other than the fact that they keep raising their rates, we're kind of very happy with what they do. We did, however, at the manager's suggestion, just note to them that in the past 2 years that their request for increase in their fees was between 4% and 5%. While we have agreed to that for the time period, we don't really think that that kind of an increase is sustainable in the future going forward. We had a motion to approve the request from CT Consultants. It was moved by Councilman Bardak. It was seconded by Councilman Jay Schatz to approve the rate schedule for CT Consultants, which I believe is in your packet. Do we need a resolution? Oh, we're going to approve that next month. Okay. I just got so excited that I wanted to push it forward. Yeah. The next item on the agenda from the Streets Committee was a request from a resident to construct a sidewalk at 6885 Fair Oaks Drive along Section Road. This section of sidewalk will, for those who can visualize this, will start where the sidewalk in front of CZE ends, and it will go up to the corner. We had quite a discussion about this request. We wanted to make sure that the public recognizes that the village is not paying for this. This is at the request of a private resident. And since this did not involve any village funds, there was really no reason for us to object to it. So that sidewalk is going to go in. Finally, we had two items for information purposes. We had Chris Fritsch, who is the Zoning and Projects Administrator, present to the committee a list of potential stormwater projects that are that the village will have to consider potentially in the future. The committee had asked for this report just to get some notion of what our potential future liabilities might be for these stormwater items. These are situations that Chris is continually monitoring, and there's, in his opinion, there's no reason to undertake any of these projects at this time. However, at some point in the future, some of these situations may reach the point where we will have to take some action. And then finally, we had a report from Ryan Monahan and Chris Fritsch presenting to the committee what their proposals were going to be included in the capital improvement budget for 2024. The maintenance department had two requests. The first was to purchase a new dump truck. The estimated cost of this new dump truck was, hope you're sitting in your seats, $201,124. This is the second dump truck that we will. I think we approved last year. We approved the replacement of one of their dump trucks. This dump truck will eventually have to be replaced, probably sooner than later. But as you will see, certainly later as we look at the budget for 2024, this item did not make the final cut as far as capital expenditures go. The maintenance department also requested a capital improvement item of $35,000 to refurbish a leaf blower. And if you think $35,000 is a lot to refurbish a leaf blower, a new one cost $108,000. So we chose the first alternative, and I believe that is will be included in the capital improvement budget. Chris Fritsch then presented the committee with a list of potential projects for the municipal building. This included a replacement of the roof, where the estimated cost was $112,000, and the replacement of the third HVAC unit, which goes on the roof, at an estimated cost of $30,000. And I believe these two items also made the capital improvement budget. Chris also notified the committee that next year, the boiler in this building will have to be replaced at an estimated cost of $97,000. And there was no further business. I don't know whether there was no further business or we were exhausted at the end of all of that. So that concludes my report. I'm willing to take any questions or comments if anybody would like them.
I'll make a quick comment. For people who don't know, there are 3 ACs on top of this building, 2 of which have been replaced in the last couple of years, and the third one that is scheduled to be replaced is actually the original, the last original one.
Correct.
Mayor, I have a question. The the request to put a sidewalk in, that's just a streets manner. I know it's not zoning, but it doesn't have to go, like anyone can just request to put a sidewalk in if they want to put a sidewalk in. It doesn't need special approval just from a committee.
This is an administrative request. It could be approved by administration. We took it to the Streets Committee because it is a bit unusual.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to the technical review that was provided, there were 2 other factors that came into it that we presented to the Streets Committee. The first being pedestrian safety. As you know, we've been frequently challenged by pedestrian safety, and especially on section roads. So that's very important to us to make sure that pedestrians are safe as they're walking on section road. This certainly would help with that particular situation for a short duration of section road. But I think more importantly is the second item, which is in regards to section road, how it may look into the future. So the village has had a very conceptual plan of what section road could look like when 2100 section road develops. So if there's a significant industrial development at 2100 section road, then that should provide enough funds so that we can do a tax increment financing deal there that would provide dollars so that section road could be improved. Part of that conceptual plan that the village has had shows a walkway or a sidewalk in that portion of section road that would be on the south side of the roadway. So when this sidewalk is put in and when 2100 section road develops, that's one piece of the sidewalk or the walkway that the village would not have to put in because it is being put in by a private owner.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments?
Just on note, I think it's important that we're very precise in our communication, that this is a private property and it's being paid for with private money. I think we should be transparent on how much is being spent on this, perhaps to inspire others, but I think it's important that that not be seen as an Amberley project. And is a private one. I'm sure you'll get a lot of inquiries.
Any other questions or comments? If not, we'll move into the Finance Committee report. Tom, you want to give the final? No? Okay.
I saw a smile on his face.
You could. Okay. In the absence of former Mayor Muthings giving the Finance Committee report, I will give the Finance Committee report. The first part of the Finance Committee report is a resolution, Resolution 2023-25, authorizing a contract for property and casualty insurance. In your council packet, on page 30, is a description of the insurance process. The village has, I don't know what Mr. Fischel's first name is. Michael Fischel, yep. Who is a consultant to the village on insurance. And he came before the committee and reported back to the committee on what the premium is going to be for the 2024 year. As you could see from the council packet, the premium that the council is going to pay for 2023 is $94,854. And that, for the first time, is the highest amount of money we've paid since 2009. In 2009, we paid $97,438, and as you could see from the information that was provided, that the amount of premium has fluctuated almost every year since 2009. Two factors have entered into the fact that our premium is somewhat higher than last year, is in the property and casualty field because of climate changes. The events have become more catastrophic, which results in more losses for the insurance companies. And the second factor is that as things have gone along, prices have gone up, and the equipment that the village has in the property and casualty situation has increased with inflation. And that, Mr. Fischel said, was the reason that the premium had gone up. I would note for council that that quote of $98,854 does not include some excess liability coverage that the village has had in the past. I think we paid, I think it was $8,700 for that last year. That part of the insurance is still out for bid. The committee did discuss, since we have coverage up to $11 million per incident, whether we needed the additional coverage up to $15 million. And the committee said that we're going to wait to see what the bids are that come back before we made a final decision on that. So I do need a motion to approve Resolution 2023-25, authorizing the village manager to enter into a contract for property and casualty insurance.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to adopt Resolution 2023-25, authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for property and casualty insurance. Are there any questions or comments? If none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Having not heard any, the motion, Resolution 2023-25 passes with a unanimous vote. Second item from the Finance Committee is Resolution 2023-26 regarding unclaimed funds. Council from the village from time to time issues checks for refunds or similar types of things, and if those refunds of those checks are not cashed after a certain period of time, the village is authorized to, in a sense, reclaim those funds as unclaimed funds. And I believe I forgot how, it's in the, okay, yeah. We're authorizing the transfer of $32.68 from the Southwest JEDS account and $58.39 from the finance administrator into the unclaimed funds. And once we pass this resolution and the funds become unclaimed, we put those funds back into our general fund. So I'd like to call for a motion to approve Resolution 2023-26.
I move to approve Resolution 2023-26.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt Resolution 2023-26 regarding unclaimed funds. Are there any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none opposed, that Resolution 2023-26 passes with a unanimous vote. Next item on the agenda, Ordinance 2023-12, amending appropriations for the fiscal year 2023. In your packet, on page 50, is a report from the village manager which outlines the necessity for this ordinance. If I could try to put this in layman terms, at the end of the year, we have to be sure that because we work on an appropriation basis, that there's an accounting that moves funds from places where we need to have appropriations and also from places where we have appropriations that haven't been spent. So it's, in effect, if you understand a little bit about accounting, if I'm not overstepping my professional bounds, it's like adjustments to a general ledger at the end of the year so that, in a sense, the books are balanced. As you could see from the manager's report on page 50, we are requesting some transfers that amount to $175,000. So I need a motion to is this an emergency? No. Yeah, okay. So it goes into effect immediately? Automatically, okay. So I need a motion to approve Ordinance 2023-12, which is amends the appropriations for fiscal year 2023.
Motion to approve 2023-12.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Ordinance 2023-12, amending the appropriations for fiscal year 2023. Are there any other questions or comments?
I have one comment. I just want to make one comment as a member of the Finance Committee. I think that the village staff has done a great job keeping good records and making sure that we know where our money is and that these appropriations are part and parcel for the overall year, and we appreciate their hard work to make sure that it happens smoothly.
Are there any other questions or comments?
Mayor, just trying to qualify, there are the 89,000 general government. What type of things is that going to?
So there are ways that we classify in your budget ordinance how dollars are allocated. The first category there, security of persons, would include the police department and fire department and any other safety issues. The general government category catches council, the manager's office, the tax office, the treasurer's office, the planning. So it's more of the general types of operations, but it's purely just a classification nomenclature.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other questions or comments? If not, please call the roll.
Richard Bardak. Adam Frankel.
Yes.
Ben Hunt.
Yes.
Keely Paul.
Yes.
Bob Rosen.
Yes.
Jay Schatz.
Yes.
Dara Wood.
Yes.
Next item on the agenda, ordinance 2023-13, making appropriations for the expenses of the Village of Amberley for fiscal year 2024. Finance Committee met twice, two rather lengthy meetings to go over the expenditures and revenue budget for the village for fiscal year 2024. You will note in your packet that we are anticipating revenues next year of just a little bit over $6 million, $6,099,000. We are estimating that we are going to spend, I know it's less than that, there's a total somewhere. I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
Where it says
Oh, yeah, okay. Yep. Yep. Yeah, we're appropriating 6.9 million. And it's anticipated that we will have a slight surplus this year in our budget, which, as I recall from the last 2 years, that's a little bit unusual, but nonetheless. So I'd like to call for a motion to approve ordinance 2023-13, making appropriations for the expenses of the Village of Amberley for fiscal year 2024.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance 2023-13, making appropriations for the expenses of the Village of Amberley for fiscal year 2024. Are there any other questions or comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Richard Bardak. Adam Frankel.
Yes.
Ben Hunt.
Yes.
Keely Paul.
yes.
Bob Rosen.
Yes.
Jay Schatz.
Yes.
Dara Wood.
Yes.
Please note that that ordinance passes with a unanimous vote. I would like to now call on Mr. Larmer for the village manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to point out 3 items in the village manager's report. The first is a clean garage award that our maintenance department received. The Hamilton County Stormwater District inspects our facilities because we not only have a garage, but we also have facilities for composting. So they keep close tabs on the composting at the north site. When they came out a few months ago, they reviewed everything, looked at our best practices, and issued a grade of an A for the stormwater pollution prevention practices and the garage cleanliness. So that's great kudos to our maintenance department for that very much deserved recognition. And then the second item I wanted to mention is in regards to council dates for 2024. So I'd like to set the calendar for this next year. I mentioned in your packet that there looks like there's one date on August the 12th, which may be a conflict. So if we could potentially move to Wednesday, August 14th or Thursday, August the 15th, if council members have had a chance to check their calendars. I believe that is the only holiday that conflicts that we identified. So is there a consensus that we can meet on Wednesday, August 14th instead of on the Monday, August 12th?
Was that date an issue, Mayor? The date was an issue?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a motion would be in order at this point to set the calendar for 2024, recognizing that we'll meet on Wednesday, August 14th instead of August the 12th.
Call for a motion? Second? Any second?
Second.
It's moved and seconded to approve the council calendar for 2024.
Right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none. The request passes unanimously.
All right, thank you. And the third item I wanted to mention was just in regards to the leaf collection. I know we're on the tail end of leaf collection. We're into December, but there are still plenty of leaves out. Our maintenance department has done a great job this year of collecting the leaves. We will be wrapping up leaf collection on Friday, December 22nd is the last day for residents to put leaves out. We'll wrap it up that following week and be done with leaf collection for this season. So just want to make residents aware December 22nd is the last day to put out leaves. And that concludes my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Question. It's the last day to put out leaves, which means they'll still be going around picking them up.
The following week, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions or comment on the village manager's report?
I would, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say thank you to the village manager and the finance committee for all of your work on the budget and making some adjustments. So I think it's even more understood by adding some columns with comments, and that was much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
A quick question, anything from the port on 2100 section and change in?
The port has directed the brokers for the site to go ahead and market it as two different parcels.
Awesome. Good.
So that is moving forward.
Good.
Any other questions or comments for the village manager? The next item on the agenda is the chief's report.
Hello.
Chief Wallace,
Thank you.
you've sat here quietly all evening. We really appreciate that.
It was actually kind of
I bet
nice.
you've been waiting to talk for about an hour now.
Yeah, can I have the rest of your 25 minutes?
Yeah.
You only used 3.
I've already used up my 25 minutes.
Okay. I don't have a lot, other than to talk about the recent burglaries we're having. You know, we're dealing with the South American gang that's going around burglarizing throughout the United States. But this weekend, we experienced another burglary in the south end of the village. We put something out on Nextdoor there's not a lot of information we can put out on it at this time. But this is probably unrelated to the other South American gang. But what I'll say is residents still continue to lock your doors, your car doors, your house doors. And when you're at home, still continue to set your alarm. They will break a window out of your house. So be sure you're setting your alarms. And don't leave things in plain view, even in your house, because these individuals are walking around houses looking in back windows. If they see a purse sitting there, a computer, or anything sitting right in plain sight, it's nothing for them to break a window, be in and out of the house in less than 5 seconds. So, be diligent on that. Be diligent on notifying us if you see anything, hear anything. This recent burglary happened in the middle of the night, which is really, really unusual for us. We haven't had something like this probably in 9 years where a burglar actually occurred in the middle of the night. That's more alarming to us as a police department, to where, they know people are home and they're still going into the residence. So take all the precautions you can. If you're leaving town, make sure you're leaving lights on. Make sure you're notifying the police department. All packages, if you're having packages delivered over the holiday, stop your mail, have the packages sent to the police department just to make things easier. Any questions?
Any questions or comments for the chief? Thank you, Chief Wallace. The mayor's report. I just have one or two brief comments. I would like to just publicly address council and say that in my experience here professionally, I respect all the work that each individual on this council does. I'm continually impressed with how dedicated and focused people are in serving the village. And it's my privilege and honor to serve as mayor, and just wanted to make sure that everyone on council knows that I respect the work that you do individually. I'm looking forward to working with you for the next 2 years, and hopefully serving the residents of Amberley Village in the way that we all deem to be appropriate. And that concludes my remarks. And I will not call for any questions or comments. Is there any new business? certainly hope not. Oh, well. That's new business? Okay. Welcome to our new council member, Adam Frankel.
Is there a second? No.
No.
Fair enough.
We didn't get to
Fair
vote
enough,
on
fair
that.
enough.
We didn't get to vote on that.
It was an emergency declaration. Thank you.
Okay. If there's no additional business, I would like to call for a motion for the council to enter into executive session for the purpose of our annual village manager's review as permitted by Ohio Revised Code 121.22 G1. For those of you who are here, I would like you to know that we will not be making any choices. During the executive session, the council will be conducting an annual review of the city of our village manager. The council will come back into our regular session to adjourn, but there is no additional action that will be anticipated tonight. So I need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
It's moved and seconded for council to adjourn and go into executive session. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Needs to be a roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please call the roll.
Richard Bardak. Yes. Adam Frankel.
Yes.
Ben Hunt.
Yes.
Keely Paul.
Yes.
Bob Rosen.
Yes.
Jay Schatz.
Yes.
Dara Wood.
Yes.
Please note that the council went into executive session at 7:31 p.m. Thank you all for attending tonight.